Have you ever wondered why the men who seem to care the most often find themselves feeling the loneliest? It's a perplexing paradox. You invest your heart and soul into a relationship, only to witness the other person slowly withdraw. This isn't just a matter of bad luck. It's a reflection of deeper, often unspoken dynamics that govern attraction. This experience offers an opportunity to explore the often misunderstood reasons why excessive forgiveness and overwhelming affection can backfire, ultimately pushing the object of your affection further away. The key to navigating this delicate balance lies in understanding how to cultivate inner strength, master your emotions, and project an aura of confidence that naturally draws others in. By merging ancient Stoic wisdom with modern relationship insights, we can unveil a new perspective that will fundamentally transform the way you connect with others, leaving you feeling more grounded and ultimately more attractive. If you've ever felt that your kindness has been taken for granted or that your generosity has been met with indifference, then this journey of self-discovery is for you. So let's dive in. At the heart of this dynamic lies a harsh truth. Women often distance themselves from men who appear to care the most, not because they are averse to love, but because excessive attachment inadvertently transmits the wrong message. It's not the love itself that repels, but rather the manner in which that love is expressed. When you exhibit excessive attachment prematurely, you unintentionally signal a sense of neediness and incompleteness. This implicit message, "I need you to feel whole, you are my sole source of happiness," can feel burdensome, constricting, and driven by desperation rather than genuine connection. Consider the scenario where you meet someone new and immediately begin structuring your life around them, constantly texting, rearranging schedules, and sacrificing time with friends simply to be in their presence. Initially, they may appreciate the attention, but soon, questions arise. Why is this person so readily available? Do they lack other interests or goals? Why am I being placed on such a pedestal? It's not about playing games or creating artificial distance. It's about tapping into an innate desire to be with someone who is self-assured, possesses their own unique path, and is not actively seeking validation. This is where the profound wisdom of Stoicism comes into play. The practice of memento mori, which translates to remember that you must die, isn't intended to be morbid. Rather, it serves as a potent reminder of life's fleeting nature. It urges us to prioritize what truly matters and to avoid placing undue importance on external factors, including relationships. By embracing this mindset, you recognize that every relationship, regardless of its intensity, is ultimately temporary. This doesn't imply that you shouldn't love deeply. It simply means that you shouldn't anchor your entire sense of worth and happiness to another person. Instead of obsessing over one individual, use this wisdom to cultivate a fulfilling life brimming with your own passions, goals, and pursuits. As you dedicate yourself to your own path and live with purpose, you naturally become more attractive. You're not chasing, you're leading. You're not seeking validation, you're confident in who you are, and that inherent self-assurance is what distinguishes you. True connection is built on a foundation of mutual respect and admiration, not dependency. The moment you begin sacrificing your own identity to retain someone, you've already lost yourself. Cultivate your inner strength and self-worth, and observe how the dynamics shift. People are naturally drawn to those who are whole and complete on their own. Don't be the person who seeks approval. Be the person who constructs a fulfilling life that others aspire to be a part of. In the intricate dance of attraction, there exists a subconscious driver that significantly influences our preferences and choices: hypergamy. When someone begins to lose interest, it is often linked to this deeply ingrained instinct. Hypergamy, contrary to popular misconceptions, is not merely about superficiality or gold digging. It is a deeply rooted biological drive to seek the highest value partner available, not necessarily defined by wealth or status, but by perceived strength, stability, and the potential to provide a secure future for oneself and any potential offspring. This instinct is as ancient as human nature itself, shaping our decisions even when we are not fully conscious of its influence. You may believe that prioritizing someone above all else, showering them with affection, canceling plans, and making them the center of your world will win their heart. However, in reality, it often achieves the opposite effect. Hypergamy compels individuals to seek signs of strength and high value. When you become excessively invested too early, it triggers doubt and questions. If they're this eager to commit, are they truly the best I can do? Why aren't they acting like someone with other options? It's not that they don't appreciate your efforts. It's that hypergamy encourages them to seek qualities such as confidence, independence, and purpose. A person who seems overly eager can inadvertently project a lack of these traits. Picture this scenario. A man who seemingly has it all, success, confidence, charisma, is, on paper, the ideal partner. However, if he begins chasing excessively, constantly texting, and rearranging his life for someone he has just met, his perceived value diminishes despite his external attributes. His behavior signals a lack of internal abundance and self-assurance. This doesn't make them a bad person. It's simply instinct at work. The solution isn't to cease caring, but to care differently. Focus on building your own life, your own happiness, and your own strength. Be the person who doesn't require validation, but is open to connection. When you embody this, relationships become healthier, more balanced, and far more fulfilling. Hypergamy isn't about finding the wealthiest individual or the one with the most ostentatious possessions. It's about being drawn to someone who exudes confidence, self-assurance, and the capacity to thrive independently. This isn't a judgment on character, it's human nature. The Stoic concept of amor fati, or the love of fate, teaches us to accept and embrace everything that occurs in life, including the instincts and behaviors of others that we cannot control. Instead of resenting hypergamy or blaming individuals for these natural tendencies, embrace the reality of human nature. The key is that you cannot control their preferences or subconscious drives, but you can control how you respond. Use amor fati as a reminder to focus on what you can change: your actions, your growth, and your self-improvement. When you invest in becoming the best version of yourself, you naturally attract higher quality partners. You won't need to chase or convince anyone of your worth because your value will be evident through the way you live your life. True confidence stems from knowing that you are enough, not from attempting to win someone over. It is born from self-respect, a strong sense of purpose, and a commitment to your own growth. So, instead of dwelling on whether someone is losing interest, ask yourself, am I living up to my own potential? Am I building a life I am proud of, regardless of who is or isn't by my side? When you live with this level of self-assurance, the right person will gravitate toward you naturally, not because you chase them, but because you embody the qualities they are instinctively drawn to. It's easy to become preoccupied with analyzing others' actions and questioning what went wrong. But remember that genuine change begins with you. Prioritize your growth and self-respect, and embrace the habits and values of a high-value person. In the realm of relationships, many men commit a critical error, allowing their emotions to dictate their decisions. While it may feel natural to be driven by love, excitement, and passion, decisions that are solely based on fleeting emotions can pave the way for trouble. Emotional decision-making can lead you down a precarious path, potentially resulting in sacrificing your goals, compromising your values, and reshaping your life entirely around another person. While this may initially seem like an act of love or devotion, it weakens your foundation and jeopardizes the entire relationship. Recall the last time you made an impulsive decision to please someone you cared about. Perhaps you rearranged your schedule at the last minute because they asked, or you abandoned a personal project to spend more time with them. In the moment, it probably felt like you were demonstrating how much they mean to you. However, in reality, these choices often convey the wrong message, that you lack a strong sense of self. When you consistently bend your own needs and desires to accommodate someone else, You unintentionally communicate that you are willing to prioritize their happiness over your own stability. Over time, this creates an imbalance in the relationship. They may begin to perceive you as someone who can be easily swayed by emotions, a man who lacks a firm grip on his own life. Ironically, this doesn't foster a sense of security. It has the opposite effect. They begin to question whether you are capable of making strong, rational decisions when it truly matters. An ideal partner desires someone who could be their rock, steady, grounded, and dependable, not someone who is tossed around by every wave of emotion. A healthy relationship is built on a solid foundation, and that foundation begins with you. If your decisions are driven solely by how you feel in the moment, you're building a house on sand. While it may stand for a while, eventually the cracks will show. Prioritizing logic and reason doesn't mean suppressing your emotions. It means thoughtfully integrating them. Your emotions can inform you, but they shouldn't command you. A strong person doesn't ignore their feelings, nor do they allow them to control them. Instead, they acknowledge them, learn from them, and then choose actions that align with their values and long-term goals. This kind of emotional discipline creates stability and trust, qualities that are not only rare, but deeply attractive. The Stoic philosopher Seneca taught that true wisdom lies in acting according to our principles, not just our desires. In the heat of the moment, it's easy to make a choice based on what feels good, whether it's avoiding conflict, indulging a fleeting emotion, or trying to win someone's approval. However, Seneca reminds us that these impulsive decisions often lead us astray. Instead, we should strive for clarity, making choices that reflect our core values and greater purpose. Think of your principles as your guiding compass. They help you navigate through the stormy seas of emotions, keeping you on course even when the waves are crashing around you. When you live by your values and make decisions that honor your true self, you earn not just their respect but your own. For example, imagine a situation where they are upset and ask you to cancel an important meeting to comfort them. Emotional decision-making might lead you to drop everything, thinking it's a sign of love. However, if you pause and reflect, you might realize that honoring your commitment to the meeting aligns better with your values of responsibility and reliability. By calmly reassuring them that you'll support them after your meeting, you show balance, someone who cares but doesn't compromise their integrity. This doesn't mean ignoring their needs or acting cold. It's about demonstrating emotional maturity, showing them that you can lead with your head while still listening to your heart. This balance is rare, but incredibly magnetic. The next time you feel the urge to make an impulsive decision, take a step back and ask yourself, is this aligned with my values? Am I doing this because it's the right choice or because it feels good in the moment? When you lead with logic tempered by healthy emotions, you stand out as someone of substance, someone who commands respect and inspires trust. This is the kind of strength that makes you not just attractive, but truly unforgettable. Women are instinctively drawn to a partner who embodies strength and resilience, someone who can provide security and stability, especially in times of uncertainty. When you become emotionally dependent, constantly seeking validation, it triggers an instinctive reaction. If they can't even stand on their own, how can they be the strong protector I need? This isn't always a conscious thought. It's a deeply rooted biological response. Imagine two individuals. The first constantly needs her attention, checking in repeatedly, seeking reassurance, and adjusting his life around her. He believes he's being attentive and loving, but what he's actually displaying is insecurity. His actions reveal that he relies on her presence for his sense of security. The second is self-assured. He cares deeply, but his life doesn't revolve around the relationship. He's focused on his purpose and goals, and while he enjoys her company, he doesn't depend on it for his happiness. The answer is obvious. It's the second. He stands strong on his own, showing through his actions that he can handle whatever life throws his way. This kind of inner strength is magnetic. It signals leadership, reliability, and self-control, qualities that women are biologically wired to find appealing. There's a reason women are drawn to strength over attachment. It's tied to a subconscious need for security and protection. Throughout history, strength symbolized survival. The strongest men could protect, provide, and lead, while weaker men relied on others for support. Even in today's modern world, these instincts haven't disappeared. They still influence attraction dynamics in profound ways. When you show emotional dependence or clinginess too early, it sets off alarm bells in her subconscious. She begins to wonder if he's this attached now. How will he handle challenges later? Can he stay calm and collected when life gets tough? It's not that she doesn't want a loving and caring partner. She does. But she also wants someone who can show love without losing himself in the process. The Stoics had a timeless philosophy about strength. They believed true power comes from within, not from external validation. To become truly attractive, you must first become self-reliant. Your sense of worth shouldn't waver based on someone else's opinion of you. When you embody this principle, you become the kind of man who doesn't need others to validate his existence. This independence is incredibly attractive because it signals that you are of substance, someone who doesn't crumble under pressure. Women aren't looking for someone to carry emotionally. They're seeking a partner, not a project. They want someone who can stand beside them as an equal or even lead when needed. If you're constantly seeking her approval, you'll become a burden rather than a source of strength. Instead, focus on building yourself up physically, mentally, and emotionally. Be the person who cares deeply but doesn't lose his sense of self. Show her that while you value her, you're strong enough to walk your own path. This doesn't mean ignoring her needs. It means being grounded in your own identity and principles. When you develop this kind of inner resilience, you naturally become the partner she craves. You're no longer just another man seeking her attention. You're the man she wants to stand by because she knows you have the strength to weather any storm together. Understanding the power of inner strength over attachment has the potential to transform not only how you approach relationships, but also how you see yourself. This mindset shift is about recognizing that true confidence and value come from within, not from seeking approval or validation from others. Women rarely leave a relationship in a sudden, dramatic exit. Instead, they often choose a quieter, more gradual path, the slow fade. It starts subtly. She begins texting less. Her replies become shorter. Plans feel less enthusiastic, and her warmth starts to fade. On the surface, things might seem fine, but underneath, her gradual withdrawal is intentional and deliberate. The slow fade is rarely a spur-of-the-moment decision. It's usually the result of accumulated doubts, unmet emotional needs, or a growing sense that something in the relationship isn't right. Rather than confronting the issues head-on, she may begin creating emotional space. This process allows her to test the waters to see if she truly wants to leave or if the relationship can somehow be salvaged without a dramatic confrontation. It's a safety mechanism, a way to emotionally detach before making a final decision. Men often miss the slow fade because they're emotionally invested and focused on their own perspective. They assume that as long as she hasn't explicitly said anything, everything must be fine. But in reality, her actions are speaking louder than words. If you're not paying close attention, these subtle cues will go unnoticed, leaving you blindsided when she eventually decides to end things. When deeply invested in a relationship, it's easy to overlook the signs. You convince yourself she's just busy with work, stressed, or going through a phase. But deep down, you sense something has shifted. Admitting this is difficult because it forces you to confront a painful truth. She might be pulling away. One of the great Stoic philosophers, Marcus Aurelius, emphasized the importance of seeing things clearly without allowing emotions to cloud our vision. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." In the context of the slow fade, this means observing her actions objectively rather than letting fear or desperation dictate your response. When you notice her pulling away, don't panic. Instead, practice mindful observation. Pay attention to her behavior without immediately jumping to conclusions or allowing your emotions to take over. Ask yourself, is she making an effort to see you? Is she initiating conversations or plans? Does her tone and demeanor reflect genuine interest? The goal is not to analyze every minor interaction, but to step back and see the bigger picture. Is there a consistent pattern of withdrawal? If so, it's time to address the situation calmly and thoughtfully. The slow fade is not necessarily the end of the relationship. It's often a signal that something needs to change. Acknowledge your emotions. It's natural to feel hurt, confused, or even panicked when you sense someone pulling away. Take a moment to process these feelings privately. Journaling, meditating, or simply taking a walk can help you clear your mind and approach the situation from a place of calm rather than desperation. Have an honest conversation. Once you've gathered your thoughts, address the situation openly. Avoid accusations or defensiveness. Instead, focus on understanding her perspective. You might say, "I've noticed some changes in how we're connecting lately. I want to make sure everything is okay and see how you're feeling about us." This opens the door for her to share her feelings and concerns without feeling attacked. The slow fade often happens when the relationship becomes imbalanced, when one person becomes too dependent on the other. Use this as an opportunity to refocus on your own goals, passions, and self-improvement. When you show her that you're confident and grounded in your own life, you naturally reignite the qualities that initially attracted her. As Marcus Aurelius reminded us, you can only control your own actions, not someone else's feelings or choices. Ironically, one of the most attractive things you can do when faced with a slow fade is to demonstrate emotional resilience. Show her that while you care deeply, you respect yourself enough not to cling to a relationship that isn't mutual. This doesn't mean giving up easily. It means recognizing when your efforts are no longer making a difference. Women are drawn to men who can handle challenges with calm and clarity. By staying grounded, you not only preserve your self-respect, but also show her that you're capable of navigating life's difficulties with maturity and grace. Are you paying attention to the subtle cues in your relationships? Are you addressing issues head-on or avoiding difficult conversations? Are you maintaining your own sense of self and purpose, even in the face of uncertainty? When you notice signs that she's pulling away, it's crucial to assess the situation calmly and objectively. Ask yourself, are her words aligned with her actions, or is there a disconnect? Is she initiating conversations or plans, or are you always the one reaching out? By observing her behavior without letting emotions cloud your judgment, you can respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. The worst response is chasing harder. If you sense she's creating distance, the worst thing you can do is chase her harder, constantly reaching out, demanding answers, or trying to win her back. Often, this has the opposite effect. It pushes her further away because it signals desperation, a lack of confidence, and an inability to respect her need for space. Instead, take a step back and allow her the time and room she's seeking. This doesn't mean you ignore her or play manipulative games. It means demonstrating maturity by respecting her feelings and showing that you're strong enough to give her the space she needs without falling apart. Use this time of distance to refocus on yourself. Dive into your own passions, strengthen your personal goals, and invest in self-improvement. By doing so, you remind both yourself and her that your sense of worth doesn't depend on anyone else's validation. This approach exudes confidence and emotional stability. It shows her that you're not trying to cling to the relationship out of fear, but rather allowing it to flow naturally. If she's genuinely interested, she'll notice this calm, self-assured response. She may even return with renewed interest, drawn by your resilience and independence. Accepting this outcome requires strength, but it's also a powerful act of self-respect. By letting go, you make space for someone who will value you as much as you value them. Women are naturally drawn to men who handle challenges with grace and composure. By responding to the slow fade with confidence and emotional maturity, you show that you're not dependent on the relationship for your sense of self-worth. This kind of poise leaves a lasting impression. Even if the relationship ends, you become the kind of person she regrets losing. You show her, through your actions, that you are a partner of substance, someone who values connection but doesn't compromise their identity for it. Take this opportunity to reflect on your approach to relationships. Women don't fall in love with a checklist. It's not just about how tall you are, how much money you make, or how good you look. Sure, these qualities might catch her attention initially, but they're not what keeps her interested over time. It's the feelings you evoke when she's with you. It's about the emotional experience, the high, the excitement, the comfort, and even the occasional challenge. If you're too predictable or if you focus solely on external traits, you might seem impressive at first, but over time, you risk becoming forgettable. Have you ever noticed how a woman can be captivated by a man who isn't the best looking in a room, who doesn't drive the flashiest car or have the biggest bank account? It's because he knows how to make her feel something unique. He's unpredictable, exciting, and creates moments she remembers long after they've happened. This is the kind of man who leaves an impact because he understands a key truth. Attraction is rooted in emotional connection, not in ticking off a list of desirable traits. On the other hand, you could be conventionally attractive, tall, fit, successful, but if your interactions with her are always the same, if you're predictable and don't stir a range of emotions, she'll eventually lose interest. This isn't because she's shallow or demanding. It's because her attraction isn't based on logic. It's based on how you make her feel when she's around you. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking you need to check certain boxes to keep her interested. Looks, money, status. But here's the reality. You could have all those things and still struggle in relationships if you don't understand the importance of emotional engagement. Women are intuitive. They can sense when a man is leading with his resume rather than his heart. It feels hollow, like you're trying to impress her instead of genuinely connecting with her. Instead of obsessing over external factors, focus on what you can control, how you show up, how present you are, the energy you bring into every interaction. Are you fully engaged, or are you just going through the motions? Are you creating meaningful moments, or are you relying on surface-level traits to maintain her interest? As Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. You can't control how she feels, but you can control the kind of man you choose to be. When you live with purpose, authenticity, and passion, you naturally create an emotional experience that draws people in. This isn't about pretending to be someone you're not. It's about becoming the best version of who you already are. Confidence, presence, and authenticity are far more captivating than any checklist of traits. Women remember the feelings you give them far more than the words you say or the things you own. They remember the excitement of being around you, the comfort of your presence, and the way you made them feel seen, heard, and understood. It's not about being perfect, it's about being real. When you can evoke a range of emotions, joy, curiosity, passion, and even a little bit of tension, you create a powerful, lasting connection. Women thrive on imagination and fantasy. They're drawn to the excitement of the unknown, the thrill of possibility, and the allure of what could be. When you're too available, too predictable, or always present at her beck and call, you strip away that sense of mystery. You kill the thrill, leaving no room for her imagination to wander. Without mystery, there's no anticipation, no excitement, just a flat, predictable routine that feels more like an obligation than an adventure. Why are women often captivated by stories of romance and adventure filled with twists, surprises, and unexpected moments? It's because these stories feed their desire for an emotional journey, a narrative that isn't obvious or laid out from the start. It's the what-ifs, the moments of uncertainty, and the anticipation of what's coming next that keep them engaged. When you're overly available or predictable, you take away the unknown. You become like an open book she's already read cover to cover. Comforting, perhaps, but no longer exciting. If you're always there when she calls, if you drop everything for her, and if she knows exactly how you'll respond in every situation, there's no room left for curiosity or passion. The Stoics believed in embracing challenges, pursuing passions, and living life fully. In the context of relationships, this means daring to live a vibrant, fulfilling life that sparks excitement and curiosity. When you follow your own path and pursue your interests with passion, you naturally create an aura of mystery and adventure that is irresistible. This isn't about playing games or manufacturing false intrigue. It's about genuinely cultivating a dynamic lifestyle, one filled with exploration, purpose, and a willingness to step outside your comfort zone. When you live with passion and purpose, you don't need to pretend to be mysterious or distant to keep her attention. Your genuine excitement for life will naturally draw her in and make her want to be a part of your journey. Women crave more than just stability. They want the thrill of an adventure, the excitement of a journey. By bringing imagination and fantasy into the relationship, you become more than a partner. You become an escape from the mundane, a source of inspiration, and a spark of excitement in her world. Pursue your passions and live a life that excites you, and keep evolving and continue learning, growing, and discovering new interests. When you evolve, the relationship evolves with you. Embrace the unknown, try new things together, take risks, and embrace spontaneity. These shared experiences build memories and deepen emotional connection. Let her imagination fill the gaps. Instead of oversharing every detail of your day, leave some things unsaid. Let her wonder about your experiences and anticipate your next move. It's not the checklist of qualities that makes her fall in love. It's the way you make her feel. By bringing a sense of imagination, mystery, and excitement into her life, you create an emotional journey she doesn't want to end. The more you show you're willing to walk away, the more she wants to hold on. This isn't about being cold or uncaring. It's about displaying controlled indifference. It's not the same as acting disinterested or playing games. Controlled indifference is rooted in genuine self-respect and emotional stability. It's the calm confidence that says, I want you, but I don't need you to feel complete. When a woman senses that you're not afraid to lose her, it flips a psychological switch. Suddenly, you become the prize, the person she feels compelled to win. The more elusive it is, the more we crave it. This is basic human psychology. We value what we can't easily have. When you demonstrate controlled indifference, you signal that your world doesn't revolve around her. This subtle detachment piques her curiosity. She starts to wonder, why isn't he chasing me like everyone else? What makes him so confident? What does he know that I don't? This curiosity builds desire, making her more invested in the relationship. On the flip side, when you're constantly seeking her approval, bending over backwards to make her happy, and showing fear of losing her, you inadvertently push her away. Instead of seeing you as a confident, self-assured man, she starts to view you as someone who lacks options, and nothing is less attractive than desperation. It's crucial to understand that controlled indifference isn't disinterest. You're not ignoring her or acting cold to manipulate her feelings. Instead, you're showing that while you value her presence, you also value yourself and your freedom. You're willing to let things flow naturally without forcing the relationship or compromising your own life plans. This kind of energy is compelling because it's authentic and rooted in genuine self-confidence, not a calculated strategy. He doesn't get flustered by her tests. He isn't swayed by her attempts to make him chase, and he values his own time and energy. This doesn't make him aloof. It makes him the kind of partner she feels lucky to be with. He's the man she wants to win over precisely because he's not trying to win her over. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught us the importance of detachment from external outcomes. In relationships, this means not placing your happiness or self-worth in the hands of someone else's approval. When you practice detachment, you're no longer consumed by the fear of where the relationship is heading or how she feels about you in every moment. Instead, you focus on being the best version of yourself, living according to your principles, and letting things unfold naturally. It puts you in control of your emotions and happiness. You're no longer a slave to her responses or validation. When you show her that you're a man who respects himself and isn't afraid to lose her, you shift the dynamic. She realizes she's the one who needs to work to keep your attention, not the other way around. The most magnetic men are those who are confident in their own skin, who don't chase after validation, and who live life on their own terms. By embracing controlled indifference and practicing stoic detachment, you become that man, the one who is strong, self-assured, and ultimately irresistible. In conclusion, Let's reflect on why showing too much care and affection sometimes backfires in relationships. It's not because love itself is the problem. It's about how that love is expressed and perceived. When affection turns into attachment or emotional dependency, it creates a dynamic where the other person feels overwhelmed or worse, trapped. The very thing meant to draw you closer can actually drive a wedge between you. The Stoics teach us to value self-control, self-respect, and the importance of focusing on what we can control, our own actions and responses. In relationships, this means leading with confidence and inner purpose instead of losing yourself in the pursuit of someone else's approval. You remain centered, grounded, and true to your values. When you adopt this mindset, you naturally become more attractive because you exude the qualities of a strong, independent partner. You don't chase after validation. You create a life that others want to be a part of. It's not about caring less. It's about caring wisely. Show affection, but do it from a place of abundance rather than scarcity. Give love, but don't make it your sole source of identity or happiness. Maintain your own interests, goals, and passions outside of the relationship. This balance keeps the dynamic healthy, prevents neediness, and allows love to flourish without losing your sense of self. Are you living in a way that reflects your values and aspirations? Are you compromising too much of yourself for someone else's approval? The answers could be a powerful revelation that helps you shift your approach to relationships moving forward. Take these insights and apply them to your life. Be the man who is confident in his own skin, who offers love without losing his identity, and who leads with strength and authenticity. When you embody these qualities, you won't just be the kind of partner women are drawn to. You'll be the kind of person who feels fulfilled and at peace regardless of the relationship's outcome.